Hello, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to do a little bit of a Michigan basketball update. I'll probably do a Michigan football update coming up soon. We might do like a two-part type deal, what's on the team and what's going forward with the team as the draft is upcoming later this week. I was going to do that video today, but Michigan basketball decided to keep doing their thing. Dusty May is out here absolutely killing the game. I know it's funny to make fun of Ohio State and some of the other teams for being off-season warriors, but when you lose your entire team, you kind of have no choice but to be said off-season warriors. So when you look at here, we'll just start with the recruits. Darrell Brooks, right? He's been a guy who's been committed for a long time, committed to Juwan and stayed with Michigan, so I like that a lot. From Catholic Central in Grand Rapids, 6'2", 180, bit of a smaller guard. Will be playing point guard probably intermittently this year, probably a bit of like what George Washington III did this season. A guy that did come back from Michigan, enter the portal and retain the team. And then on Friday, about 4:30 Eastern time, 1:30 Pacific, Justin Pippen, the middle son of Scottie Pippen from Sierra Canyon, formerly of LeBron James' son, Bronny James, and I think the oldest Wade brother son went there as well, and Zaire Smith and a few other guys, or Zaire Williams. Really cool school, obviously, with all the hype around it. So a good pipeline to get in there for sure. Combo guard, 6'3", 180. I was told earlier that a good prediction you could say for him, I guess you could say prediction, player comp loosely would be a Jordan Poole type, a bigger, lankier combo guard, kind of with a lot of potential, really good. Obviously, Jordan Poole got much better once he left Michigan, but he had his ups and downs. Really intriguing, obviously, with a pretty good lineage, I would say, the son of a Hall of Famer, you would hope to think that he can get most out of it. 4-star, apparently he's kind of a late bloomer, and they think he might end up a bit higher at the end of the season, the recruiting cycle. But I would imagine this is probably his final ranking. So I imagine he's just like Darrell Brooks, will be used intermittently this year. So very cool there. And now we get to the transfers. The first one we can do is Sam Walters. This transfer happened this afternoon of recording. It is 6:37. Actually, it's 7, April 22nd. So, earlier today, Sam Walters committed from Alabama. He is 90-something percentile in catch and shoot. 6'10", 198. Need to put some weight on for the Big Ten, but I think he's going to kind of be a big 3, small 4. Playing as a stretch 4 / basically if you watch Alabama, it could be like a Grant Nelson type. Obviously, I think Michigan's going to go with a center a bit more. But he can be like that 4-ish, 3-ish, a lot of really tall shooters in the team. But he had 5.4 points, 2.4 rebounds, 0.4 assists on 42% shooting. More importantly, was 39.4% from the field, from three, and really was good at knocking down those threes. Obviously didn't play a ton this year being a freshman, but he transferred out and looking for greener pastures up north in Michigan. The other transfer today was Roddy Gayle Jr. of the Ohio State University, 6'4", 210, real good combo guard out of Niagara Falls, New York, really close to where I currently am. Did a really good job this year at Ohio State, 13.5 points, 4.6 rebounds, 3.1 assists on 44.9 shooting, 28.4% from three, which is a bit of a step down from from his 42.9% as a freshman, but playing obviously a lot more minutes. Pretty much every stat is better in the correct direction. Obviously turnovers are a bit up now, but average 0.8 steals, 0.2 blocks, not much on the defensive end, but is a pretty good efficient scorer. Likes his long twos. I would say a super weak player comparison would be Jordan Clarkson, in where he really is a head down dribbler. Not so much of a passer, but you kind of need that sometimes, a guy to take over and do his thing. I'll pull up his game log here on the other screen and see if there's any games that really stand out. Averaged 13 points in the month of March. He had a 32-point game against West Virginia, where he was absolutely on fire. Against Michigan, I know he played pretty well. 15 points against Michigan, 6 for 10 from the field. Very good there. And he's going to be some much-needed scoring help for Michigan at the 2 position, shooting guard. Likely your starting 2 next year would be Roddy Gayle. But transfer from Ohio State is kind of crazy. But obviously it's not as heated of a rivalry in basketball. Up next, as you can see on the screen here, is Tre Donaldson. He is a sophomore, 6'3", 200 pounds, out of Tallahassee, Florida. He played his first season at Auburn. He's listed at 6'3" on ESPN. He's 6'1" here on Auburn from, 24/7 Sports. So somewhere in the middle. As you can see, he's up from his high school ranking. He was a 3-star high schooler, is what it says here. But I believe he was a 5-star McDonald's All-American, I believe. That might have been Aiden Holloway. One of the two, right? We were looking at 2 point guards from Auburn. I think we obviously landed with Tre Donaldson here. He averaged 6.7 points, 2.4 boards, 3.2 assists on 47% shooting, and 41% from 3. So you can pretty much see that the idea here is to shoot threes. As you can see, as we carry on in this list, it's a lot of shooters. But yeah, Tre Donaldson will likely be the starting point guard, barring another guy, which we'll talk about at the end of the video here. But I think that that's what we're going to see for now. I like his game a lot. Again, pass first guy has no problem, catch and shooting, and working with a pick and roll, likely with hopefully Vladislav Golden. That'll be a really good addition. Up next is Danny Wolf. One of the best additions in the portal, the guy that we've all were looking for. I, tweeted out a long time ago that he was coming here. One of the first guys you've had in a long time that hasn't had any issues with admissions, obviously being Danny Wolf, but he is 7 foot, 255, says he's a center. I think he's going to play more of the 4 at Michigan. This season, he had 14.1 points, 9.7 boards, 2.4 assists, 1.3 blocks, and 1 steal a game. So really good on the defensive end. Was 34.5% from 3. That's pretty good. 34% shooter of a 7-foot big. Was 50% from the field. Other than that, really good stuff. When they played Auburn, he had 13 points on 5 rebounds. With 3 assists, and he was a little bit worse in the field, but obviously playing Auburn, and when you're at supporting cast at Yale, it's pretty tough. But hey, they upset Auburn and Tre Donaldson. But and in Brown and against Cornell, he had some good double-digit games there. Really good overall season. And again, he's another guy. When you look at Sam Walters as a freshman, you look at Roddy Gayle as a sophomore, you look at Tre Donaldson as a sophomore, you look at Danny Wolf as a sophomore. A lot of these guys have multiple years of eligibility, which is a lot better than what you've seen in a lot of the teams that are going for these portal guys, where it's one and done, get in, get out. Really good stuff overall that you really like to see these guys be able to have a building block, can retain the culture, and have a few years going with Michigan, and then sprinkle in some high school recruits, as we saw earlier with Pippen and Darrell Brooks, and it's really good stuff. Now, all of these guys we've known about for a while. Sam Walters kind of came out of nowhere, but once he took his visit, he posted a video on Twitter, which it looked like he committed, which you have to say he didn't, but he ended up committing, obviously, today. So really good stuff overall. And then the last guy is Reuben Jones. This one came out of absolutely nowhere. I believe his mother, I think it was on Twitter, tweeted how, she knew for 2 weeks and be quiet, or someone tweeted it out, and it was pretty funny. But Reuben Jones is a senior from North Texas, Houston, Texas, where he's born. He's 6'5", 190. See, it's funny because ESPN says 6'5", 190. Down here it says 6'4", 180. So, probably let's just say 6'4 and a half, 185, call it middle. Good combo guard, has no problem playing off ball, a bit more of a defender, which is great to see. 12.1 points, 3.6 assists, 7.3 assists. 3.7 assists, 3.6 rebounds, 39.6% from the field, but 41.6 from 3. So that obviously tells you he's more of a shooter. Really doing his work on the defensive end with 1.5 steals a game. Had a few games where he had multiple steals. His last 2 games in the NIT, he had 4 steals and 3 steals against LSU and Seton Hall, respectively, shooting 60 and 40% from 3. So he's going to be a good defensive wing. Catch and shoot 3 is going to be really good. Think about it now. If you have Roddy Gayle with the ball in his hands, he's driving to the rim, doing a pick and roll with Vlad Golden. He's going to drive, and if he has someone to kick, you got Sam Walters in the corner. You got Danny Wolf in the corner. You got Rubin Jones on the wing. You got Tre Donaldson out there. You've got Cheddar on the team still. You got Namari Burnett. That's 6 guys that you can kick the ball out to that are all at least 30% or better from 3. That's something you didn't have on Michigan last season. You'd have Doug McDaniel run around with a chick with his head cut off and then kick it to Terrence Williams for a fader 3, and it was a clang every time, right? Much better stuff going on. And as crazy as it is, Terrence Williams could come back. He's one of the guys that transferred out. He could come back to Michigan. I doubt it, but, I've seen crazier things. But Reuben Jones will be a much-needed addition. I would probably say starting 3, maybe. Likely if I had to guess, it'd be Donaldson, Gayle, Jones, Cheddar or Wolf, and then Vlad Golden at the 5. We will talk about Vlad Golden right now. He does need to get through admissions. So as you can see here, Vlad Golden, the 14th ranked uncommitted transfer, is a 4-star guy here. He had 15.7 points, 6.9 rebounds, and half an assist on 67% from the field. That was third best in college, which is very good stuff. He is 7'1", 240 from Nalchuk, Russia. Obviously coming by way of the Florida Atlantic Owls. When you look at the FAU Owls, obviously he was a big part of their success, along with Johnell Davis. We'll talk about him in a minute. But Vlad's crystal ball to Michigan. He had a no contact order when he came in. I believe right now the issue is he has to graduate, because you have no problem coming in as a grad transfer. But if he is not to graduate, it's going to be likely very tough to get into Michigan. But Vlad, would be pretty surprised if Vlad was not a Michigan Wolverine by the start of the season. And looking at everything else here, another guy that is very interested in Michigan is Aiden Mahaney out of St. Mary's. And looking at his stats, he had 13.9 points, 2.6 rebounds, 2.6 assists on 38% shooting, but 35 from three. He played a lot of minutes in a lot of these games. In the final against Gonzaga, he had 23 points on 60% shooting, and he played all 40 minutes. He did the same thing against Grand Canyon, where he played all 40 minutes for St. Mary's. Obviously, the link there is the St. Mary's coach that helped recruit him and develop him. He came over to Michigan to join Dusty May's staff. So obviously there's a little bit of an in there. Combo guard, he'll probably be playing point guard. I would think that he'd be the starting point guard if we end up landing him. Would be awesome. Not as much smoke as there was initially when it entered. But my goodness, I would really like it if he was on the team for sure. Would help out Michigan a ton. I think they're really a point guard and a big wing away, assuming Vlad Golden enters. And then finally, got to talk about it because he was on the team, Johnell Davis. He is the guy. He is the number one guy in the transfer portal. Is uncommitted. I think he's number 2 overall behind Omar Ballo, the center from from Arizona that committed to Indiana. He's all that, Johnell Davis. I mean, I'll pull up his stats real quick, but it seems pretty unlikely that he's going to end up coming to Michigan. There was reports that admissions rejected him, which they haven't yet, but they probably will if he has as bad of grades as is rumored. I don't want to put anything out there, but it seems like it's a little crazy. He had 18.2 points, 6.3 boards, 2.9 assists on 48% shooting with 41% from three. This kid's unbelievable. He's asking for a ton of money because he's that good. But if it ends up being the case that he ends up at Michigan, it's the type of guy that's going to totally game change everything. Okay. If he comes to Michigan, this team will contend with the best of them. I couldn't stress how important it would be to get him here. It's a bit of a debacle in terms of him not graduating. It seems like this is the case. If he ends up getting through somehow and graduating, he could be very welcome at Michigan. But as it stands right now, it seems very unlikely he'll come to Michigan. He's also asking for a ton of NIL money, which Michigan's notoriously stingy at. But it seems like there's some mutual interest there. But he's going to likely test the waters of the NBA from everything we've been hearing. It's a bit of a nightmare. And even if he commits to Michigan, it's a long stretch that he gets through. So I know it's a bit of a roundabout answer to me not really saying much, but overall, you look at what Dusty Bays has done, it couldn't have been off to a better start. I know I was initially a little receptive to the hire and was like, okay, I don't know. But, you look at the other teams you got Kentucky hiring the BYU coach, Pope. I know he obviously played there, but just it looks bad on paper. Louisville hiring the Charleston coach, it is what it is. They have a ton of money down there. They're just throwing money at everybody. And a lot of coaches opted to stay in this crazy era. Obviously, you had Coach Cal go in Arkansas and then Ohio State promoted within. So would you say that Dusty May is the best out of those four outside of Cal? Yes. So there's not much I can really complain about. So that's all I have for now. Dusty May is cooking. He's continuing to cook. I had a tweet go a little bit good viral for me. Iron Chef Dusty May. He's cooking, man, and I love to see it. It makes me very happy that Michigan basketball is, so-called back. Again, it's hard to say that with it being the offseason and all that. But overall, I really like where everything's at here. Let me know down below what you think about Michigan basketball. If you like the moves, what's going on. But that's all I got for now. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.